Just give your sister the jewelry, Adriana. Don't be so selfish. My mother's voice was sharp, final, like she'd already made the decision and I was just being difficult by existing. I stood in my childhood bedroom, except it wasn't mine anymore, was it? They'd given it to my younger sister Vanessa years ago. I was just visiting for Thanksgiving. Vanessa sat on my old bed, arms crossed, looking at me like I'd personally ruined her life. She has all this expensive jewelry just sitting there, Vanessa said. I'm getting married. I need it more. My father nodded. Your sister's wedding is important. Family shares. I looked at the three of them, my chest tight. That jewelry is worth $90,000. It's my collection. Exactly, Mom interrupted. Your collection. Sitting in a closet while your sister gets married without proper jewelry. What kind of person are you? A spoiled rich brat, apparently. That's what they'd call me later, in front of the entire family, at Thanksgiving dinner. But here's what they didn't know. The jewelry wasn't just expensive accessories I'd bought on a whim. Every single piece had a story, a meaning, a memory they'd never bothered to ask about. And when the truth came out, when they learned why I had that collection, my mother cried, my father went silent. And Vanessa? She tried to give it all back. But by then, it was too late. Before I continue, if you're enjoying this story, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We share true stories about family drama, justice, and standing up for yourself every day. Don't miss the next one. Now let's continue. My name is Adriana Torres. I'm 35 years old, and I've spent my entire life watching my younger sister get everything while I got the leftovers. Vanessa is 28, 7 years younger, and from the day she was born, she's been the center of our parents' universe. I don't say this with bitterness, well, maybe a little, but mostly I say it as fact. Vanessa was the planned baby, the wanted one. I was the surprise that derailed my mother's career plans. Mom never said it directly, but I heard it in 1,000 small ways. If I hadn't gotten pregnant with you, I would have finished law school. Your sister was born when we were ready. Vanessa was always easier. Dad tried to be fair, but Mom's favoritism was so strong it infected everything. Vanessa got the master bedroom when I moved out for college. Vanessa got a new car when she turned 18. Vanessa got family vacations, graduation parties, and constant emotional support. I got student loans, a used car I bought myself, and "We're proud of you," said with distraction. When I landed my first job out of college, marketing associate, $50,000 salary, Mom's response was, "That's nice." Vanessa got accepted to her top choice university. When I got promoted to senior manager at 28, $120,000 salary, Dad said, "Good for you. We're helping Vanessa with her apartment deposit." When I became director of marketing at 32, $180,000 salary, they didn't call. They were at Vanessa's graduation. I learned early that my achievements didn't matter unless they fit Mom's timeline. And they never did, because Vanessa was always doing something more important. So I stopped trying to impress them. I focused on my career. I worked 60-hour weeks. I got promoted faster than anyone in my company's history. And slowly, quietly, I built something that was mine, something nobody could take away or diminish, my jewelry collection. It started when I was 24. I'd just gotten my first big promotion, senior marketing associate, $85,000 salary, more money than I'd ever seen. I was walking past a jewelry store and saw a necklace in the window. Simple, elegant, a gold chain with a small sapphire pendant. Something about it called to me. I walked in. "Can I see that necklace?" I asked the sales associate. She brought it out carefully. $2,800. It's an antique, early 1900s. The sapphire is natural, not treated. I should have walked away. That was more than a month's rent. But something in me whispered, "You deserve something beautiful, something that's yours." I bought it. When I wore it to work, my boss noticed. "That's stunning. Family heirloom?" "No," I said. "I bought it myself, to celebrate my promotion." She smiled. "Good for you. Women should celebrate their own success." That necklace became my reminder, proof that I could do something on my own, that I was worth more than my family saw. Over the years, the collection grew. Each piece marked a milestone. Age 26, promotion to manager, $95,000 salary. Vintage Cartier bracelet, $4,500, age 28. Senior manager, $120,000 salary. Tiffany engagement ring setting. I bought for myself, $8,000. I'm engaged to my career, I joked. Age 30, director position, $180,000 salary. Van Cleef & Arpels necklace, $12,000, age 32, major client win. Vintage Rolex women's watch, $15,000, age 34, company record year. Bulgari Serpenti bracelet, $18,000. 20 pieces total, each one carefully chosen. Each one representing a moment where I'd proven myself, where I'd survived something hard, where I'd reached a goal. Total value, approximately $90,000. I kept them in a safe in my apartment. Climate-controlled, insured, documented. They weren't just jewelry. They were proof. Evidence of a life I'd built completely alone. My family knew I had some jewelry. They didn't know the extent, didn't know the value, didn't know what each piece meant until Vanessa got engaged. Vanessa met Derek 6 months ago. He worked in tech sales. Nice enough guy. They'd gotten engaged after dating for 5 months. Fast engagement? Yes, but Vanessa had always been impulsive, and Derek seemed genuinely in love with her. The wedding was planned for next summer. Small ceremony, budget-friendly. Nothing wrong with that. But Vanessa had expensive taste. She wanted the wedding to look expensive, even if it wasn't. That's when Mom got involved. Adriana has all that jewelry, she told Vanessa. She never wears it. You should ask to borrow pieces for the wedding. I found this out later. At the time, I just got a call from Vanessa. Hey, so I'm getting married and I need jewelry for the wedding. Can I borrow some of yours? Which pieces? I don't know. I haven't seen your collection. Can I come over and look? Red flags went up immediately. Vanessa, my jewelry is really valuable. I don't think... Come on, Adriana. I'm your sister. You can trust me. It's not about trust. These pieces they're special to me. They're just sitting in a safe. I'd actually wear them. Please, I should have said no. But guilt, that family guilt, made me hesitate. Let me think about it. Whatever, she said, annoyed. I'll ask Mom. She hung up. That should have been the end of it. But 3 weeks later, Mom called. Adriana, we need to talk about Thanksgiving. Okay. Vanessa is getting married. She needs help with wedding costs. I think you should contribute. Contribute how? Well, you could let her borrow your jewelry. Or you could give her some pieces as a wedding gift. You have so much, and she has nothing. My jaw clenched. Mom, my jewelry is not wedding jewelry. It's investment pieces. Vintage. Expensive. Exactly. Which is why your sister should have access to it. Family shares, Adriana. I don't think you understand. Some of these pieces are worth $15,000 each. Then you can afford to share them. That's not how it works. We'll discuss it at Thanksgiving. Plan to bring your jewelry. She hung up. I sat in my apartment, staring at my phone, a familiar feeling washing over me. The feeling of being told my boundaries didn't matter. That what was mine wasn't really mine if someone else needed it more. But I was 35 years old, not a child, not someone who could be bullied into compliance anymore. I decided right then. I wasn't bringing my jewelry to Thanksgiving. I arrived at my parents' house on Thanksgiving morning. The whole family was there. Mom, Dad, Vanessa, Derek, my aunt, my uncle, my 2 cousins. The table was set beautifully. Turkey, all the sides. It looked perfect. But the atmosphere was tense. I could feel it the moment I walked in. Vanessa barely greeted me. Mom's smile was tight. Dad looked uncomfortable. We made it through dinner with surface-level conversation. Then, during dessert, Mom spoke up. Adriana, did you bring the jewelry? Everyone looked at me. No, I said calmly. I didn't. Mom's face hardened. We discussed this. Vanessa needs... I know what Vanessa needs, and the answer is still no. Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. Why are you being so selfish? I'm not being selfish. I'm protecting something that's important to me. It's just jewelry, she said, voice rising. You have so much of it, and you never even wear it. I'm getting married, and I have nothing. Then buy your own jewelry. The table went silent. Dad cleared his throat. Adriana, that's harsh. Your sister is in a different financial position. She chose a wedding she can't afford. That's not my problem. Mom stood up, her voice cold. You've become such a spoiled rich brat. You have everything, and you won't share any of it with your own sister. The words hit like a slap. My aunt shifted uncomfortably. My uncle looked at his plate. Spoiled? I repeated quietly. I paid for my own college, my own car, my own apartment. Everything I have, I earned myself, while you paid for Vanessa's entire life. We helped you. You gave me $500 once for textbooks in 4 years of college. You gave Vanessa a car, tuition, an apartment, and a monthly allowance. Don't talk to me about spoiled. Vanessa was crying now. You're ruining my wedding. I'm not ruining anything. I'm just not lending you $90,000 worth of jewelry. $90,000? Dad's face went pale. What the hell do you have that's worth $90,000? My collection. The one you've never asked about. The one I've been building for 10 years. Mom sat back down, looking shocked. Why would you spend that much on jewelry? Because it's mine. Because I can. Because every piece represents something I achieved that you never acknowledged. The silence was deafening. My aunt finally spoke. Maybe we should all take a breath. No, Mom interrupted. I want to know why my daughter thinks she's too good to help her sister. I stood up. I don't think I'm too good. I think I'm done being guilted into giving up things that matter to me for a sister who's gotten everything her entire life. I grabbed my coat and purse. If you leave, don't come back, Mom said coldly. I paused at the door. Noted. I left. The next week was brutal. Text messages from family members. Mom, you're selfish, and you've broken your sister's heart. Vanessa, I hope you're happy. You ruined Thanksgiving. Dad, please apologize to your mother. This has gone too far. My aunt, can you all just talk this out? Even Derek texted, I don't think this is about jewelry anymore. Vanessa's really hurt. I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I did something I should have done years ago. I called a family therapist. I need help setting boundaries with my family, I told her. Over 3 sessions, she helped me understand what was happening. Enmeshment, parentification, golden child/scapegoat dynamics. You've been conditioned to believe your needs don't matter, she explained. Your family's expectation that you give up your belongings, especially ones with emotional significance, is a continuation of that pattern. So I'm not crazy? I'm not being selfish? You're being self-protective. There's a difference. That validation was everything. If you're relating to this story, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support means everything. Let's continue. 3 weeks after Thanksgiving, I got an email from Vanessa. Subject: I'm sorry, Adriana. Derek and I have been talking a lot about family stuff, about how we've treated you. He asked me something last night. Why does your sister owe you her jewelry? I didn't have a good answer. He said, if she worked hard for it and it means something to her, why do you think you deserve it more? I've been thinking about that, about how I never really asked what the jewelry meant to you. I just assumed you were being stingy. Can we talk? Really talk? Not with Mom around? Please. Vanessa. I stared at the email for a long time. Part of me wanted to ignore it. Part of me wanted to protect myself from more hurt. But another part wondered, what if she was actually ready to hear me? I responded, coffee, this Saturday, neutral location. She agreed immediately. We met at a Starbucks halfway between our places. Vanessa arrived first, looking nervous. Thanks for coming, she said as I sat down. I'm listening. She took a breath. I've been the favorite my whole life. I know that. I didn't really see it until Derek pointed it out, but it's obvious. I waited. Mom paid for my college, my car, my apartment. When I complained about money, they sent checks. When you complained about money, they told you to budget better. Yeah. And I never questioned it. I just thought that's how families worked, that I deserved it somehow. And now? Now I'm realizing I've been handed everything while you fought for scraps, and then I had the audacity to ask for your jewelry like you owed it to me. Her voice cracked. I'm so sorry, Adriana. Really sorry. I felt something loosen in my chest. Why did you want the jewelry so badly? She looked down. Because I wanted my wedding to look expensive. I wanted people to think I was successful, like you. Vanessa, I am successful, but not because of jewelry, because I worked my ass off. I know, and I've never worked for anything. Not really. I got my degree because Mom and Dad paid for it. I got my job because Dad knew someone. My apartment? They co-signed and pay half the rent. I hadn't known that last part. I'm 28, and I've never stood on my own, she continued. And I think that's why I wanted your jewelry so badly, because if I wore it, maybe I'd feel successful. But that's not how it works, is it? No, it's not. We sat in silence for a moment. Can I ask you something? Vanessa said. What do those pieces mean to you? Really? So I told her. Every piece, every milestone, every moment of survival and triumph they represented. The sapphire necklace from my first promotion, the Cartier bracelet from becoming a manager, the Van Cleef necklace from making director. Each one, I explained, is proof that I made it. That I didn't need Mom and Dad's approval or money, that I built something real. Vanessa was crying. I had no idea. I just saw expensive things and thought you were being greedy. Because nobody asked. Nobody ever asks about my life. I'm asking now. Vanessa did something I never expected. She called a family meeting, asked me if she could tell Mom and Dad everything we'd discussed. Are you sure? I asked. They're not going to take it well. I know, but it needs to be said. We met at my parents' house the following Sunday, just the four of us, no audience. Vanessa spoke first. Mom, Dad, I need to tell you something about how you've treated Adriana versus how you've treated me. Mom's face immediately went defensive. Vanessa, let me finish, please. She laid it all out. The money they'd given her versus what they'd given me. The emotional support, the praise, the favoritism. Adriana has a jewelry collection worth $90,000, Vanessa said, and I asked her to just give it to me like it was nothing, like she hadn't worked for years to buy those pieces, like they didn't mean anything. She looked at our parents. But they mean everything. Every single piece represents a moment where she succeeded without you, without us, because we weren't there. Mom's eyes were wet. That's not fair. It's completely fair, Vanessa interrupted. You paid for my entire life. You gave me everything. But when Adriana asked for help with college, you said no. When she needed a car, you made her buy her own. When she got promoted, you barely acknowledged it. Dad looked at me. Is that true? You felt unsupported? Dad, you didn't come to my college graduation. You were at Vanessa's high school awards ceremony. His face crumpled. I don't remember that. I do. Because I sat in that auditorium alone, watching everyone else's parents cry and take photos, and I told myself it was fine, that you were busy, that I didn't need you there. But you did, he whispered. Yeah, I did. Mom was fully crying now. I didn't realize. Because you didn't ask. You've never asked about my life, Mom. Never asked what matters to me. You just assumed I was fine because I didn't complain. Because I'm not as vocal as Vanessa. I'm sorry, Mom said. I'm so sorry. The thing about apologies is they don't fix years of damage instantly. They're a start, not an ending. I appreciate that, I said. But I need you to understand, I'm not giving Vanessa my jewelry. Not now, not ever, because it's mine, and that needs to be okay. Mom nodded. It's okay. It was never okay for us to ask. Over the next few months, things slowly changed. Dad started calling me, not with requests or obligations, just to talk. How's work? How are you doing? Actually caring about the answers. Mom took longer. She apologized again. Explained that she'd been projecting her own disappointments onto me, that she'd resented me for derailing her plans, even though that wasn't fair or rational. I'm in therapy now, she told me, trying to work through why I treated you differently. It's not an excuse, but I'm trying to understand. Vanessa and I started having monthly dinners, just us, building a real relationship for the first time. I postponed the wedding, she told me one night. Derek and I decided to save up properly, do it right, without handouts. That's really mature. I'm trying to grow up. Finally, she paused, I got a second job. I'm saving for my own jewelry, nothing as fancy as yours, but mine. I smiled. That's perfect. At Christmas, my parents gave me a gift, a small box. Inside was a necklace, simple, gold chain, small pendant. It's not expensive, Dad said. We know you have much nicer pieces, but we wanted you to have something from us. That represents starting over. The pendant was engraved. We see you now. I cried. Vanessa's wedding happened this past summer. Small ceremony, beautiful, authentic. She wore jewelry she'd saved for and bought herself, simple pieces, but she glowed. In her vows, she thanked Derek for teaching her what real partnership looks like and showing her that support isn't about material things. At the reception, she pulled me aside. I have something for you. She handed me a small box. Inside was a bracelet, delicate, silver, engraved with a date. What's this date? I asked. The day we had coffee. The day I finally listened. The day I started being a real sister. I hugged her, really hugged her. I'm proud of you, I said. But I've added one more piece, the bracelet from Vanessa. It's not expensive, not fancy, but it represents something my collection couldn't buy. Healing, real family, a sister who finally sees me. People ask sometimes if I regret standing my ground at Thanksgiving, if I wish I'd just loaned Vanessa the jewelry to keep the peace. The answer is no, because standing my ground forced the truth into the open. It made my family face patterns they'd been ignoring for decades. It gave me my voice back. My jewelry isn't just about success anymore. It's about boundaries, about knowing what's mine and protecting it, about refusing to shrink so others can feel bigger. And that's worth more than $90,000. That's priceless. If your family demanded you give up something precious, would you fight back or give in? Drop your answer in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe. We read every comment, and your support helps us share more stories like this one. See you in the next video.